What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745. And in this video we're going to be recruiting Deathlok. So as the quest says, we needed 20 VK machines, and we were only 3 away. With the brand new quest for the final sim, they're going to give us 4. So we will in fact have enough to unlock her. The final simulator mission is extremely easy, so this isn't going to be a problem at all. In fact, you're allowed to bring in your agent, and we're only fighting against Madam Mask. So our agent and Deathlok versus a pretty easy boss. If you want, you can even set up your agent to take her on, like perhaps make him an infiltrator. But I really don't think that's necessary. We're just going to take in our Bruiser E3 agent who has a protect weapon and a few counterattacks, and we'll see how it goes. We already beat it once before, but this time's for the coveted VK machines. And so it means a lot more now than before when it was just for silver. Though we didn't know that at the time. If you want to see all 3 sims, then I'll put a card in this video, which is basically a link. Just look for a little eye in the upper right hand corner of the video. As for this 3rd sim though, believe it or not, we're almost finished. After a small munitions fire, we're going to counter, first with the Blade of the Guardian, then with the Mercurial. That's going to be a boss down. So as our reward, we're going to get 4 VK machines, and that'll put us to 21. Meaning one step closer to recruiting Deathlok. You're basically through the hard part. There's only one more thing to do before you get her. So first we'll collect that, finishing task number 2. That also nets us 5,000 silver. Task number 5 was complete, and that finishes task number 2. Now we're going to jump to task number 6. So a little bit confusing, but we are on that final step. For this, you have to research the reverse turing test in the lab. The reward's going to be Deathlok. So yes, you are going to get her for free as soon as you finish. No CP required. We're going to click on that link, and that'll take us to the lab where we find the Turing test is going to be a 4-hour research that also costs 50 shield points. So really not that bad. We'll get that started, but through the power of editing, we'll be right back. So let's jump ahead in time. Here we are when the research is done, and so basically we're going to get that reverse Turing test. And as soon as we click the X button and exit the lab, you're going to see Agent Coulson with a special message. Good work, you passed with flying colors. Never underestimate 80s era technology. Thanks for helping me, Agent. Task number 6 is done, and Deathlok has been recruited. So we'll see her dialogue and just take a brief look at the character again, before checking her out in action. Only Cloak and Dagger remain, and we should win them very soon. So I can't wait to get them. But first, my dad used to tell me that friends make you weak, while allies make you stronger. But he also made his money from reanimating corpses and selling genocidal Terminators. I hope I can be your friend as well as your ally, Agent. Sure you can. Now I know we're pretty familiar with this character after using her in the sim, but once again she is a blaster and she has cybernetic. She'll begin with Recon AI, but she can pick up Combat AI from a Quick Action Multifunction Level 2. You will want to gain some combat intel though before you switch over. So that's one of her main mechanics, and it's pretty unique. Then moving over to her regular abilities, on her level 1 we have Rapid Fire. It causes 2 radiation exposure stacks. Also it applies combat data. Her attacks gain combat assessment if she's in her combat AI. Then like I said, her level 2 is a quick action and it switches over. So she begins with Recon, and you can switch to combat whenever you want. Then we have an AoE attack in Flamethrower. Once again, a pretty solid attack. Lastly, she has another multi-function beginning with Mega Blast, an AoE that exploits radiation, and gets much better with her combat AI. The other option is Snipe, guaranteed hit, Despair, removes buffs, and applies combat data. So all in all, a pretty awesome character. But what exactly is her story? Well, it's a pretty short one. A failed assassination attempt on Rebecca Ryder's father by rebels from the future left Rebecca seriously injured. Using his knowledge of cybernetics, Rebecca's father turned his daughter into a Deathlok in order to save her life. So now I guess I know her origin since I wasn't familiar before. As far as her team-ups though, she has a few with Cammy, Deathlok of course, but really, no one that has a lot of different team-up bonuses. But that's fine. Using her in combat for the very first time, I had a few team-ups in mind, but of course I wanted to see her with Deathlok. Now that combat data should definitely stack, so I needed to see that. Deathlok applies it all the time, basically anytime the enemy attacks. So he's going to be putting that on all the enemies. Then she'll add it with her level 1, plus radiation exposure times 2. We'll see why that combat data is important right away. So now we have 2 stacks, and with Deathlok, his level 1 actually has combat assessment. Deals extra damage against enemies with combat data. This level 1 ends up doing quite a bit of damage to an enemy. Likewise, Deathlok also gains combat assessment when she's under her combat AI. So just picture these two helping out each other and dealing increased damage. It's a pretty solid team. Unfortunately though, they are both blasters. That's a bit scary. But hey, many teams have 2 or more bruisers these days, so it could actually work out. What I do know is it's a pretty funny animation how she kinda turns away as she fires. I don't know, I guess I could picture a little kid doing that. Plus, she has a lot of firepower even at a low level. A level 1 in fact. So yeah, I do think I'm gonna like her, but unfortunately, her level 2 really isn't gonna be that useful just yet. You already start with Recon AI, and Combat AI really isn't that great without the combat assessment, which unfortunately she won't get, apparently unless she's directly hit. At least that's how it works so far. At such a low level, I feel more comfortable with my agent protecting, so she really hasn't gained any combat assessment. Not with a protector. In PvP though, she's definitely going to be targeted. And so I'm just going to continue leveling her, and we'll see her very soon. It should only take a few days. We're just going to wrap this final wave up by finishing off the last enemy, and then I'll be bringing it to the end of this video. So one more rapid fire, and then we get a follow-up attack, finishing off the assassin. That's going to be it for our first look at Deathlok, but we'll have her in PvP very soon. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for all your support and encouraging words on the last video. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So yeah, just thank you again. And if you don't mind, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.